Alrighty, good evening, everyone. I'll go ahead and call to order the Murray City Planning Commission meeting for Thursday, December 4th, 2025. It's 6:32 p.m. Present this evening are Commissioners Ned Hacker, Aaron Hildreth, Jake Pearson, Katie Rogers, Pete Hristo, and myself, Michael Richards. Excused is Peter Kling. Oh, I'll talk louder. Thank you. Excused is Peter Kling. From staff, we have Zach Smallwood, David Rogers, Ruth Ruwak, Chad Wilkinson, and filling in for Mark Richardson is Keaton Brown. Just a reminder, if you have a cell phone, please silence it. This meeting is being recorded for public record. Again, we welcome you to the meeting tonight. Grateful to have you here and participate in this meeting. Just a couple of etiquette items. When the time comes to make a comment on an agenda item, we ask that you speak into the microphone for the recording, and we also ask that you state your name and your address for the minutes. Please limit your time to 3 minutes. Once your time is over, you're welcome to leave. We just ask that you do so quietly so that we don't disrupt the other agenda items. So let's jump into it. Agenda item number 1 is our approval of the minutes from November 6, 2025. Have all the commissioners had an opportunity to review the minutes?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Are there any changes that need to be made?
No.
Okay, I'll ask for a motion.
Chair, I'll motion that we approve the minutes for November 6th, 2025.
Thank you. We have a motion from Commissioner Rogers to approve the minutes from November 6, 2025 as written. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
I have a second from Commissioner Hacker. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Minutes are approved. Agenda item number 2, conflict of interests. Are there any conflicts for tonight?
No.
Thank you. Agenda item number 3, approval of findings of fact. There's just one, Beyond Creation Institute. This was a conditional use permit. Are there any changes or corrections?
No.
Okay, I'll ask for a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that Planning Commission approve the finding of facts and conclusions for the Beyond Creation Institute as written.
Thank you. We have a motion from Commissioner Hacker to approve the findings of fact for Beyond Creation Institute. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second from Commissioner Hristo. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Findings of fact have been approved. All right, those are the quick and easy ones. Our next agenda item, number 4, is a conditional use permit, The Blind Man. And we have David presenting. Is the applicant here? Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners. So this is a request for an electronic message center sign, which needs a conditional use permit at the address located 4714 South Commerce Drive, number 1. So the site is right off of Commerce Drive, adjacent to I-15, and is just under an acre in size. Here's the zone. It is in the MG zone, and all of the surrounding properties are also in the MG zone. So here's the site plan that has been provided by the applicant. The EMC, or Electronic Messaging Center sign, will be located facing west, adjacent to the I-15 corridor, on the side of the building there, as you can see. So specifically, the details of the sign: it is 7 feet tall by 20 feet. The proposed sign is 140 square feet. For our code, you're allowed a certain size of signage per certain length of the building on the frontage on the side that the sign is on, and the maximum that they could have here is 144 feet. So the sign does meet our size requirements for this zone. So specifically, electronic messaging center signs have very specific requirements that other signs do not, which is a big reason why they need conditional use permits. So specifically, all electronic signs must include the ability to dim the sign intensity after dark. The sign must be oriented in a way that will not be a nuisance to traffic or adjacent properties. The applicant will need to provide documentation that the sign's brightness does not exceed the allowed limit of 0.3 foot candles over ambient lights when they're submitting for a building permit, and all signs in Murray City need to get a building permit prior to installation. When the sign is changing faces during the day, it must maintain the image for at least 2 seconds before it changes. And our code specifies that 5% of the time the sign is in use must be devoted to public service messaging, which includes things such as a weather forecast or the time of day. But advertising for off-premises businesses is prohibited. The sign can only advertise businesses that are on the premise where the sign is located. So whenever we're doing one of these conditional use permits, we always go to check out the existing conditions and see what the site looks like. We happened to notice when we went to check out this site that there is currently a trailer that has an electronic sign on site. That is not part of this approval, and this type of sign is not permitted in our code. So this will need to be removed prior to the sign being installed. Public notice. So 15 notices were sent to all property owners located within 300 feet of the subject property. And we did get a phone call asking about signage on the site, about billboards, and whether billboards, when you measure how much space is allowed for a sign, whether billboards count. So we had a discussion with the person who called, and basically building signs and billboards are measured differently and are not compared against each other. So we were able to explain that to the person that called, and that's the only message or comment that we received. So findings, the proposed use of an electronic messaging center sign is allowed in the MG zoning district subject to conditional use approval. With the conditions as outlined in the staff report, the proposed sign will comply with the standards of the Murray City Land Use Ordinance, and the proposed sign is not contrary to the goals and objectives of the Murray City General Plan in this area. So, staff recommendation, based on our analysis, staff recommends that the Planning Commission approve a conditional use permit to allow an electronic message center sign at the property addressed 4714 South Commerce Drive, number 1, subject to the following 11 conditions. And I do want to specify that we reached out to the applicant to inform them of the specific requirements of an EMC sign about dimming, about the location, and they indicated in writing that they will comply with those. So we have included them as conditions of approval here, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, David. Questions from commissioners? All right. Can the applicant please come to the podium? And if you'll state your name and address for the record.
Good evening. Kenny Alton, 13658 South, Belmont Park Avenue, Harriman.
Thank you. Have you had an opportunity to review the conditions, and are you able to comply with them?
We are.
Thank you. Anything else you'd like to add?
Oh, pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it is. Any questions for the applicant? Okay, thank you.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, I'll now open up the meeting to a public comment. Seeing none, I will close the public comment and bring it back for discussion amongst the commissioners. Seeing none, I will ask for a motion.
Chair, I'll motion that the planning commission approve. Chair, I motion that the planning commission approve a conditional use permit to allow an electronic message center sign at the property addressed 4714 South Commerce Drive, number 1, subject to the 11 conditions set forth in the staff recommendation.
Thank you. We have a motion from Commissioner Haristo to approve, or that the Planning Commission approve a conditional use permit to allow an electronic message center sign at the property addressed 4714 South Commerce Drive, number 1, subject to the 11 conditions. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. We have a second from Commissioner Rogers. Any discussion on the motion? David, roll call vote.
Commissioner Haristo,
Yes.
Commissioner Rogers,
Yes.
Commissioner Hildreth,
Yes.
Commissioner Pearson,
Yes.
Commissioner Hacker,
Yes.
Chair Richards.
Yes. Congratulations, the motion has passed. All right, moving right along, agenda item number 5, sorry. This is a conditional use permit for Olbert Auto Sales, and David is also presenting this one.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Oh,
So
I'm
this-
sorry, is the applicant here? You can stay seated for now, I just wanted to make sure you were here. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners. So this is a request for a conditional use permit for an auto sales business located within the MG zone. So this is located within an area that we call Garco. It is a 5.37 acre site, and all of the units are approximately the same size, about 847 square feet. This area is located in the MG zone, and all of the surrounding properties are also located in the MG zone. So as we mentioned, most of these units are all about approximately the same size, so a floor plan and a parking plan were provided to us. So this is what has been provided. It meets our requirements, although we specifically did want to call out, and we have discussed with the applicant, that parking in front of the bay doors, so all of the unit have a big bay door and then a man door. Parking in front of the bay door is prohibited, and all for-sale vehicles must be stored within the unit itself. So there are 2 outside parking stalls, and then there will be 2 parking stalls inside for the vehicles being sold. And these are both included as conditions of approval, but otherwise the site and floor plan meet our code requirements. So public notice, 21 notices of the public meeting were sent to all property owners for parcels located within 400 feet of the subject property. As of the date of this presentation, staff has not received any public comments. So findings, the proposed use for an auto sales business, which is land use 5511, is allowed in the MG Manufacturing General Zoning District, subject to conditional use approval. With the conditions as outlined in the staff report, the proposed use and property will comply with the standards of the Murray City Land Use Ordinance, and the proposed use is not contrary to the goals and objectives of the Murray City General Plan in this area. So staff recommendation, based on our analysis reviewing the site, staff recommends the Planning Commission approve a conditional use permit to allow an auto sales business at the property addressed 4195 South, 500 West, number 81, subject to the following 6 conditions, and I am happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Zach. Questions? I'm sorry, David. Zach's right there. He is. Okay, if there's no questions, let's have the applicant please come to the podium and please state your name and your address for the record.
My name is Edwin Garduno.
I'm sorry, say again.
Edwin Garduno,
And your address, please?
1203 South Ontario Drive.
Thank you. Have you had an opportunity to read through the conditions, and are you able to comply with them? I'm sorry, have you been able to read those conditions?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Are you able to comply with them? or-
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No.
Okay, thank you. You can go ahead and have a seat, unless are there any questions? Okay, you're good. You can have a seat. Thank you. All right, I'll now open up the meeting to a public comment. Seeing none, I will close the public comment and bring it back for any discussion. And if there is no discussion, I will ask for a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that the Planning Commission approve a conditional use permit to allow an auto sales business at the property address 4195 South, 500 West, number 81, subject to the following conditions 1 through 6 as listed.
Thank you. We have a motion from Commissioner Hacker to approve the conditional use permit to allow an auto sales business at the property addressed 4195 South, 500 West, number 81, subject to the 6 conditions. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. We have a second from Commissioner Pearson. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, let's take a roll call vote. David?
Commissioner Hacker,
Yes.
Commissioner Pearson,
Yes.
Commissioner Hildreth,
Yes.
Commissioner Rogers,
Yes.
Commissioner Haristo,
Yes.
Chair Richards.
Yes. Thank you. The motion is passed. Good luck with your project. All right. Again, moving along, we are to agenda item number 6. This is DL Evans Bank, This is a site plan review, administrative action, and Ruth is presenting tonight.
Thank you,
Yeah.
and the applicant is here.
Awesome, thank you.
So this is a request for site plan approval submitted by DL Evans Bank for the property at 6150 South State Street. The subject property is highlighted here in blue. It faces State Street and 6150 South. It's also near the Fashion Place Mall.
Hey,
The-
Ruth, can you, can't hear you very well.
The applicant plans to reuse the existing building for a banking business. And the property is located in the CD zone, and major modifications to buildings in the CD zone requires planning commission approval, and so that's why you're seeing this application tonight. Some major modifications to the building is new parapet wall on the east and west side of the building, which increases the building to 25 feet in height, and this height complies with the CD zone. And here are some elevations for the west and south elevation. Another modification is a new drive-through and a canopy over that drive-through. And here are some renderings. And a floor plan just showing the typical layout for a banking business. This site is accessed from State Street and also 6150 South, and these access points are also the entrance and exit points for the new drive-through. And 21 parking stalls are provided, and the site meets that requirement. For landscaping, additional landscaping is required along 6150 South, and the applicant will be required to submit a full landscaping plan for their building permit. Notices were mailed and no comments were received. So staff finds that the proposed use is consistent with the goals and objectives of the Murray City General Plan, and with conditions, the proposed plan meets the requirements of the Murray City Land Use Ordinance, and the proposed plan will allow the business to expand its reach to better serve the community. And so staff recommends that the Planning Commission grant site plan approval for the proposed building modifications for a banking business at the property address 6150 South State Street, subject to these 9 conditions, and I'm here for any questions.
Thank you, Ruth.
I had a quick question. Sorry, do we know about how many cars this kind of a business will receive during like peak hours? Are we worried about spillover in the state at all?
The parking requirement is based on the use, and for that use, 19 are required. That's the requirement.
I'm sorry, for the drive-through?
For the drive-through?
Yeah.
We could request a traffic study, I suppose, but that wasn't a requirement for the application.
Okay. Do
I
we know
think
how
the
many-
applicant might be able
Okay.
to speak to that a little bit more.
Okay, if there aren't any other questions for staff, can the applicant please come to the podium and state your name and your address for the record?
Jason Smith, 4355 West Emerald, Boise, Idaho, 83705.
Thank you. Have you had a chance to review the conditions, and are you able to comply with them?
Yes, I have, and we are.
Thank you. Anything else you'd like to add?
No, not at this time.
Okay. Yeah, question?
Sorry, I'll ask the right person then. Do you know about how many cars that drive-through can hold, and about how many during peak hours you'd be expecting?
So the drive-throughs show, there's 2 lanes shown. There's one lane that's actually for the drive-through. The other lane is a pass-through lane that allows traffic coming in off State Street to access the main parking lot that's on the west side of the building. But typically, the bank doesn't see more than 3 or 4 cars at a time going through their drive-throughs. So there's plenty of room for that type of car stack on this site.
Thank you.
I have one. So that access is off of State Street. You didn't by chance talk to UDOT about that access, have you?
No, because it's
I mean,
existing and we're not modifying it in any way.
No, it's the same. And then my question was, and I know the answer because you wouldn't do it unless you had thought it was okay, but accessing the drive-through right in, right out, not going to be an issue.
No, we don't see that as an issue. Yeah, with the main parking lot being on the west side of the building.
Yep. Thank you.
And that's really, there's 2 entrances, one on the east and one on the west, but the main entrance is on the west side because the bulk of the 21 stalls are on that side of the
Yep.
building.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
All right, I'll open up the meeting for a public comment. Seeing none, I'll close the public comment and bring it back for any discussion amongst the commissioners. And seeing no discussion here, I will ask for a motion.
I'd like to make a motion that the Planning Commission grant site plan approval for the proposed building modifications for a banking business at the property addressed 6150 South State Street, subject to the following 9 conditions.
Thank you. We have a motion from Commissioner Hildreth to approve the proposed building modifications for a banking business at the property addressed 6150 South State Street, subject to the 9 conditions. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. I have a second from Commissioner Rogers. Any discussion on the motion? Okay, Ruth, let's take a roll call vote.
Commissioner Hildreth,
Yes.
Commissioner Rogers,
Yes.
Commissioner Haristo,
Yes.
Commissioner Hacker,
Yes.
Commissioner Pearson,
Yes.
and Chair Richards.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. And congratulations, the motion is passed. Okay. Let's move on to agenda item number 7. This is Chick-fil-A item. Zach is presenting. I assume the applicant is here?
Yes, the applicants are here.
applicants.
So this is
Thank
sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay. This is a review and approval of a shared parking usage agreement between Chick-fil-A and Howland Partners, generally around the property addressed 5175 South State Street. The Chick-fil-A is located just down the street over here on State Street. It is in the CD zone, which is the commercial development zone. The point at 53rd is in the CMU zone, which is the Center's Mixed Use Zone, in that great neon purple. So there you go. So I'm going to try to cover this as much as I can, as detailed, but as quickly as I can as well. So in 2012, Chick-fil-A approached the city and received site plan approval. This was the site plan that was provided at that time and what was ultimately built. So 45 parking stalls were required and 45 were provided. Sometime between 2013 and 2015, the Point of 53rd and Chick-fil-A entered into a parking agreement. Largely, I believe that was to allow access to this intersection located here for the point, and then also allowed some parking along the side there. So since then, since construction, Chick-fil-A has made some adjustments to their site to accommodate a large influx of drive-through customers. They've added a second lane up to the north that then merges into one lane here, which resulted, you can kind of see here, there were stalls along this area here. And then they've kind of changed these to be more angled. So that ended up reducing their parking stalls to what we counted was 34 on site when we did a site visit. And I've counted it like 6 times on this picture, so to make sure that my number's right. So that put them outside of their required amount. In 2024, they had submitted a site plan review to add what is essentially an escape lane. So that would allow these people, it would have come in here a little bit and pulled out. At that time, staff reviewed that and approved that site plan review with them showing us that they had that parking agreement. In 2025, about March of 2025, Howland Partners brought to our attention that the parking agreement needed to be reviewed by the Planning Commission. And so after reviewing that code, we did determine that, yes, it needed to be reviewed, and it hadn't been reviewed at that time up until then. So that's why we are here tonight, is to look at the two sections, well, the sections of codes. Specifically, 1776-020, letter C, which is alternatives to on-site parking, which is required off-street parking for any use, structure, or building, which due to size or location of the parcel cannot be provided on the premises, may be provided on other property not more than 200 feet from the parcel of land to be served. So the representatives of Chick-fil-A did provide us with a site plan with a 200-foot measurement here that was provided to the Planning Commission. We appreciated that. However, we do know that the site has changed a little bit since that occurred. So what I did is go in and make a couple modifications just to make sure that we're okay. So here on your screen are the needed number of parking spaces for each use, and then what is on site, and then whether there was an excess or deficit. Deficit would be in red. So Chick-fil-A needs 45 spaces to maintain where they're at today, not to implement that site plan review. So they have 34 on site today, so they are deficient about 11 spaces. The Point at 53rd needs 244, well, needs more than that. So what, let's see, 350, 360, somewhere around there. And there's a total of 701 spaces on the Chick-fil-A site. So there is an excess of 282 parking spaces. That's for the entire shopping center, not necessarily within that 200 feet. So what I did was then pulled this image and measured 200 feet and counted the spaces that were available at that time, which I believe I put in the letter. Sorry, I'll just double check that. Okay, and then also what I wanted to make sure of to mention is that Howland Partners did receive site plan approval for the Outback Steakhouse and Bonefish, which is what will eventually be going in this location. So what I also did is I took their site plan they provided, and that red hashed area is 200 feet from the property line, counted those number of spaces, and made sure that there is adequate parking for the Bonefish property, or the Bonefish use, as well as that excess for Chick-fil-A and Zupa's, everything around it. I believe, do you remember the number I told you? Just the total that I had around. Yeah. Okay, yeah, so 52, I believe 52 is what I counted in this section here. 27 right here, and then, yeah, so there's more than enough within that area. Sorry, I kind of messed that up a little bit. So we are recommending that the Planning Commission approve the shared parking based on the following findings: that the applicant has provided a signed parking agreement that provides access to parking on the adjacent property, and the adjacent property has adequate parking to meet the requirements of city code, and excess parking sufficient to provide the required parking spaces for Chick-fil-A. I'm happy to answer any questions that the commission might have so far.
Thank you. Questions for Zach?
Also, there are a couple things I wanted to go over the role of the Planning Commission here. The role of the Planning Commission is to verify that there is a parking agreement that is signed by both parties. As we as staff are not attorneys, and as far as I know, none of you are attorneys. We are not interpreting the language of the parking agreement. We are just following what the code says, which is there a parking agreement between the two parties that allows for that to occur. And then we verified that there is enough parking spaces. Additionally, one other thing that I wanted to mention is that any decision that the Planning Commission makes can be appealed to the hearing officer. And if any applicant has any questions about that, we're happy to answer that right after this meeting or whatever. So.
Zach, are we under any, or violating any legal or
Can you speak?
code is out there? but
Can you speak into the, I can't hear you very well.
We have violation of any legal issues, being this is retroactive, that agreement's been in place for a while?
So, when we approved the site plan, it met the required number of parking spaces. So there was no need for the city to review the parking agreement at that time. Throughout the years, there have been modifications, and so when we were alerted to that, we sent a letter in October that said that they were in violation and didn't meet their approval, right? That they had their number of parking spaces, and that we wouldn't be renewing their business license until they had remedied that. So yes, they were out of compliance, but that is why we're here tonight, to remedy that issue. So as far as the planning commission is concerned, or is privy, you guys aren't subject to legality in that part. It is more on the applicants.
So you're basically saying our agreeing to the parking agreement is, that the parking agreement is in code with Murray City's.
That is
ordinances.
correct. Yep.
If redevelopment were to continue further down the road, are there any mechanisms in place for us to reevaluate this? Let's just say any kind of redevelopment came down and then these surplus stalls vanished for whatever reason. Are there mechanisms in place to reevaluate?
Let me make sure you're asking let me just verify the question with you. So if an additional development down the line were to come forward, can we relook at that? Is that what you're asking?
Right, yeah. So if they redevelop their land and those stalls disappear and then this is no longer possible, are there any mechanisms in place for us to reevaluate?
Yes, so we would evaluate that. So now that this is adopted, right, whenever, if the Point at 53rd were to come forward with any proposed plans, we would actually make sure that whatever's in that agreement is verified and accounted for in any proposal that the Point of 53rd is requesting.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So, question just for me, so are there no conditions that they need to comply with to have this approved?
No, because this really is just making sure that it meets that section of code. There's no further conditions that need to be applied. All the conditions would still be, that were approved in 2012. I think there were like 17. Those still apply. This is just reviewing, making sure that they are meeting that section of code.
Great.
So, Zach, essentially, the approval of the parking agreement put them in compliance, correct? They're in compliance
With the city, yes.
with the city?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Can the applicant please come to the podium and state your name and your address for the record?
Devin Emmons, Development Consultant on behalf of Chick-fil-A. My address is P.O. Box 270571, San Diego, California, 92198.
Thank you.
Thank
Since
you.
there's no conditions I have to ask you to comply with, do you have any comments that you'd like to make?
Absolutely. And first of all, I'd like to say thank you, Chair Richards and Commissioners, for your time tonight. As Zach said, the approval tonight is really just meant to acknowledge and accept that there is a signed parking agreement in place. I think the question about conditions of approval is completely fair, and that will likely be a part of the next step of approval as we propose any other future site modifications and things of that nature. But I just want to say thank you to Chad and Zach for all the hard work. Once this came to my attention, right, they sent the letter about the parking agreement in October, and they helped us navigate all the next steps and to get on the agenda in a really quick amount of time. The encouragement or the request would be obviously that this does get approved. As Zach mentioned, the business license for Andrew Allman, who unfortunately can't be here tonight, he's attending a family matter. He's the operator of this location, and he won't be able to renew his business license come the new year, which means nearly 100 employees won't necessarily have an opportunity to work come the new year as well. And we know if you know Zach, he's a great guy, he's a great member of the Murray City community, and we really just want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to help him continue to contribute to the Murray community. But that's all I have for you.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely.
Any questions for the applicant?
I have a question. Why weren't previous changes to the lot brought before the city? And can you give us assurances that it won't happen again in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. As far as the past developments, I think it was kind of in emergency mode, especially during the pandemic when all that was being used was drive-throughs for quick service restaurants. And so it was a quick pivot from the facilities and management team for Chick-fil-A to try and make sure that we weren't spilling all over the site, rerouting people through the parking lot. I'm sure you remember how crazy a lot of drive-throughs were back then. But yeah, we completely acknowledge that the proper steps weren't taken, and that's part of why we're here today, is we're making sure to propose everything that we are planning on doing in the future to Zach and Chad and make sure that it goes before the proper approving bodies.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, looks like there are no other questions. You can go ahead and
Excellent.
go ahead and
Thank you
have a
very
seat.
much for your time.
Thank you. All right, I will open up the meeting for a public comment, if there is any. Okay, seeing none, I will close the public comment and bring it back for a discussion amongst the commissioners. Okay, if there's no discussion, then I will ask for a motion.
Chair, I'll make a motion that the Planning Commission approve the proposed shared parking based on the two findings below.
Thank you. We have a motion from Commissioner Pearson that the Planning Commission approve the proposed shared parking based on the two findings. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. We have a second from Commissioner Hristo. Any discussion on the motion? All right, Zach, roll call vote, please.
Definitely. Commissioner Pearson,
Yes.
Commissioner Hristo,
Yes.
Commissioner Rogers,
Yes.
Commissioner Hildreth,
Yes.
and I've lost my track. Commissioner Hacker?
Getting close. So I have a comment. I know I haven't made a statement. So your statement is that this is approval after the fact, if you will. Well, my real point is, if this would have come in front of the commission when the contracts were originally signed, would the commission have agreed to it? I think yes, so I vote yes.
Thank you. And Chair Richards?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Congrats. The motion is passed. All right, that is the end of our formal agenda. We have another agenda item which is not part of the public meeting. It will take place in the room over here, so we will adjourn this portion. Is that right, Zach? Okay. Go ahead. I might be missing something.
That's okay. It'll still be a public meeting.
Okay.
You're just adjourning you're going to take like a 5-minute break and reconvene in the Poplar Room.
Awesome. What he said, still a public meeting. Take a 5-minute break. Thank you for being here.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.